not Spanish, not a moss. One of the big myths is that Spanish moss kills trees. I hear that a lot. People ask me all the time, you guys pay anyone to get rid of all that Spanish moss? No, why? It's gonna kill your trees. No, they're right. No, it's gonna kill your trees. No, they're okay. You need to pay someone to get the Spanish moss off the trees. It's gonna kill your trees. How does it kill the trees? Well, it's like a fungus or a parasite. It sucks the moisture and nutrients right out of the tree and leaves it dead. Dead! Pretty passionate about it. But as a bromeliad, it gets everything it needs from the sunlight and the rain. It doesn't get anything from the tree. All it does on the tree is hang. Why does it hang on the tree? Because the higher it is, the more sunlight and rain it can get. Pretty simple. The myth probably came about because people see Spanish moss growing on dead trees, you know, and they probably point to that dead tree and they go, see, I told you, look at that tree, dead, Spanish moss killed it. Not even realizing that the fact that Spanish moss is growing on a dead tree kind of defeats the myth, because the myth is that Spanish moss uses the tree's moisture nutrients. Dead trees don't have moisture nutrients, they're dead, but it's still growing there. How can it grow there? All it does is hang, you know, it just uses up space. We actually had some growing off of this truck about a year ago. We had a different canopy, it was a little beat up, there was a little hole in the back, and I guess driving through the woods some Spanish moss hooked on, and it just hung there. We left it. About a month and a half later, it was getting longer, hanging off the truck the way it would hang off a tree. As a matter of fact, when it rains, it turns green, streaking in the rain, streaking in the water. But yeah, so Spanish moss, not Spanish moss, not a moss, doesn't kill trees. Another common myth is that it's an oak tree thing. Something that attacks and kills oak trees. You got an oak tree, it's going to get Spanish moss, it's going to die. Get rid of that Spanish moss. Well, this one's going to be a little easier for me to disprove, to debunk. That is an oak tree, covered in Spanish moss. So far my argument's not doing too good. However, those are pine trees, covered in Spanish moss. The tree, the orange tree that I spoke about, that I was talking about, when we were parked out there, had Spanish moss growing on it. And in the woods, we got cypress, palm trees, ferns, all kinds of trees with Spanish moss growing on it. It's not an oak tree thing, it's a tree thing. It doesn't really care what kind of tree it's on. As long as it's a rough bark, it'll grow there. Even on palm trees, the palm fronds aren't rough, but the body of the tree is. You'll have roots and whatnot, they'll just grow off the body. So not an oak tree thing, it can happen to just about any tree. As a matter of fact, people bring it home all the time. They love the look of Spanish moss, like these folks, which is what I'm talking about. I heard them talking about it. Oh, how cool is that? People like Spanish moss. It kind of looks dark and scary, you know, kind of has that Interview with a Vampire feel to it. People bring it home and hang it on their tree in the backyard or front yard. It'll grow there as long as it's warm enough. You know, it's a warm weather plant, so you bring it up north, it'll die in the winter. But as far as the tree itself, as long as it can hold on to it, it will grow. So not Spanish, not a moss, doesn't kill trees, and it's not an oak tree thing. Now, fun fact and fun story, both at the same time. About 100 years ago, the upholstery industry used to use Spanish moss as the stuffing for furniture. Couches, love seats, beds, pillows. Africa. One of the oldest breed of cattle in the world. The Watusi tribe originally bred them about 4,000 years ago. Right next to the tree, we have our American Longhorn. Fun fact, all Longhorn are American Longhorn. Sometimes they're called whatever state they're from. That's just American Longhorns from that state. There's only one breed of cattle in this country, American Longhorns. They actually got their start in Florida because the Spanish introduced cattle to North America through Florida, and the Longhorn is the descendant of the Andalusian Bighorn cattle from Spain. So we got the Watusi and the Longhorn. We got our zebra. Our zebra's name is Barcode. Barcode the zebra. Awesome. Also from Africa, zebra. They're related to the horse and the donkey, but they're neither horses nor donkeys. They're zebras. It's its own breed of equine, not used for anything. In other words, it's not a pack animal like a donkey or a transportation like a horse. A little too wild for that. I'm sure someone has trained one or two somewhere in the world, but to use as working animals, nah, a little too wild, not very reliable.
They're like looking at us like we're looking at them, right?
Yeah. We got our water buffalo.
At least it's human.
These are Asian water buffalo. The cattle of Southeast Asia. They're called that because they're raised as cattle. They're raised for their milk and their meat and their hide. But they're also water buffalo, which means they're working animals. They use them as plows and tractors. Farm equipment, basically. They work the farms and the fields and even construction sites throughout the world. Now we're going to go ahead and feed these guys here. You guys are going to go ahead and feed these guys here. How we're going to do it is real simple. I'm going to give you orange so you can see through the sun. Okay? All you got to do, toss it over the fence. Just toss it on the ground somewhere. Okay, just toss it on the ground. Someone will go to the orange. Okay, why are we doing it that way? Because I don't want anyone hurting my animals. How do you hurt them? By hitting them in the nose with an orange from 12 feet up in the air. It's going to do a lot of damage. Their nose is the most sensitive part in the body, and that is the spot you would aim for. Not that you would do it on purpose, but it's what we do. We want them to eat it, so we do this. You know what I mean? We just aim for the mouth. That's what we do. They're not going to catch it. They're just going to look at it like, duh, and bam, I'm going to hit them in the nose. And again, we're pretty high. It could do damage. So don't throw it at them. Just throw it on the ground next to them. They'll go. You know, wherever you throw it, they'll go. See? Yeah, wherever you throw it. You can even wake the...
Okay, go for it, Jacelyn.
right here in the middle. When that one was born, for about the first 3 weeks of its life, the zebra raised it.
What?
The mom wasn't really paying attention. A lot of times when animals have that first baby, it's a little traumatic, paying attention to the baby, while the zebra's maternal instinct kicked in. She not only took the little water buffalo under her wing, or under her hoof, she nursed it for about 3 weeks.
Oh my gosh.
We had the same reaction.
It's a ramp. It's a pretty steep ramp, but you could get a wheelchair up this ramp. Are we allowed to go see the tires?
I